We've now got the chicken all filled in. I've been going back and forth from the different views to make sure I didn't miss any spots. I also went on to the next screen, and as you scroll through these different colors, you can see if you've missed any. So like here's the gray, then I've got the orange, a dark blue. So as I flip through here, I can find out if there's any missing pieces. Now there's a little spot of blue in the purple, so I should go back and figure that out. It does put a little red box around each section, so you can see what little spots you might be missing, and then you can go back to your main screen and fix them. So I can go back over here and just scroll over. Yep, see that? There's a tiny little bit of blue there. I don't know if y'all can see that. I'll go up to 800%. So I wouldn't have spotted that just looking at it, you know, on the main screen at 100%. But now that I see it, I can get my eyedropper, I can click in here, and I can go get my paintbrush and fill that right in. To get a really nice finished product, if you spend a little bit of time going back and forth, you can catch any little mistakes you made, little areas you've missed. Again, not as critical as it sounds because these are going to be big quilting stitches that I'm filling in. I'm not doing an embroidery per se. What I'm doing is just trying to fill in these areas, but it's looking pretty good now. So the next step is to fill in each of these areas with the color and the fill that I want to use. So first I'll do my background. So if I come down here and choose my eyedropper, that pulls up my color, which gray is what I wanted to use. I'm going to change this to look like chicken wire, which is design 024. And then I'm going to come back to my screen, use my paint bucket, and click on this gray space. Boom. Kind of cool, huh? I really like the look of that. I love that with these chickens. And when I go on to the next screen, let's go ahead and do it. I want to make that a bigger fill because that's a little too small. It's going to take forever to stitch out. It doesn't need to be that small. I'm going to probably come up to, let's see what 150% does us. Okay. Now for the body of the chicken, I'm going to go back and forth a little bit here because I have the previous one I did. I'm going to sort of make a match since they're mates here. On the main body of the chicken last time, I used a, let's see, I used kind of a feathery look. This one. This makes great feathers. It's pattern 026. And I'm going to change that to a light gray. And I'm going to fill that in. I've got my paint bucket here. The area that I have pink here for the body, I'm going to fill in that area. Doesn't look like feathers going this direction, but when we go to the next screen and I change the angle, you're going to see how cool that looks. Might have to go to a different color. That blends in so well I can't see it. So let's make that a blue. There we go. Again, have to wait to redraw. Not there. Let's see what 105 takes us to. Yep, I kind of like that. Doesn't matter, but so much, but sort of like the angle there. Might even go one notch further. Let's try 120. So you can see this is the blue feathery area here. You can tell what I'm working on because I've got the red box around it. Yeah, like that a lot. The other, of course, you can change the scale of this, which I might make just a little bigger. It doesn't need to be way big. But it'll stitch out faster if I make it bigger. Let's see what that looks like. At 110%. Yeah, that's not bad at all. The other, so I've changed the angle, I've changed the scale. The other thing I pay attention to here is whether I want the outline around the area. As a quilter, I kind of like leaving the outline on because rather than having it stop and start and putting a million little knots in here, on the outline, on the edge of the area, it will put an outline, and so it's going to have a path to travel here, so it won't have to tie off, hopefully just at the beginning and the end, and not all these little in-between places. So if I give it a path, I'll reduce the number of of tie-offs I have, and that's always a good thing. Okay, so I'm liking the body, I'm liking the background. We'll go on here, let's see, on the feathers, on the wing. Let's go and find a nice looking design for that. I think I used this design last time, number 30. It kind of worked out well for feathers, so I'm going to try that again. Let me do something I can see here, maybe the yellow. And I'm going to use my paint bucket and dump it here on the wing. It's not bad. And actually, I like that at the angle and size it is, so I don't think I'm going to change that one. Okay, for the rooster's head, this area, I think I'll use the cross hatches, number 6. And let's see what color that fabric is. It's a green and purple. I think I'll go with the purple on that. Again, fill that in there. Okay, now you can see how nicely it's working because we use the solid colors. When I go to use the paint bucket now, it fills very nicely and evenly. That one I am going to want to change the angle on just a little bit so it goes sort of the angle of his head. So let's try clicking on this, and we'll click on the angle. Make sure you're always working in the right area by clicking. You can click on it here, or you can come up here and select it with your arrows. But just before you start changing a lot of stuff, make sure you're in the correct area. Okay, no, that was too far. There, I like that angle. Okay, that's what I was going for. And I like the size, so I don't need to change that. Now on his comb, I think on the last one I used the bubbles. Maybe I'll do that again. 05 and go with a red. So I want a real red there. Okay, and that I'm going to make a lot smaller. So I'm going to go to the next screen, make sure I've got that selected. Maybe all the way to 50. I think that's as low as I can go. I want those bubbles to look like little bubbles and not great big half circles. There we go. That's kind of cute. Okay. And let's see. The next thing would be the beak. It's a pretty small area, so I'm going to zoom in just a bit so I can select the beak. Let's try that. Okay, I think this will work out better. I'm going to again take it down to 50%. And now when I zoom in, I think I'm going to see, yeah, hey, that's kind of nice. That's going to hold it down just fine. So let's go on back and get our feet. So the feet, I think I'll use the same color that I used on the beak because I want those to stitch out the same. So on the feet, this same one we used earlier is going to work out pretty well for feet. Looks kind of like the scaly legs of a chicken. So I'll use my paint bucket and I'll touch first one foot and then the other. And I'll go to the next screen. So what I wanted to show you here, since the 2 feet are going to use the same pattern, if I click on 1 foot, it shows me I've got my color and I've got my pattern up here. If I click this link button, it's now selecting both feet. See how I've got the 2 selection boxes around it? But I want to change the scale just a little. Again, we're dealing with a pretty small size there. Let's go down to 65 and see if that does us. Yeah, and I kind of like the angle on that, so I don't think I'll change the angle on this one. So we're getting there, guys. We just need to do these tail feathers. So let's go grab those real quick. The tail feather. So let's try a crackle. See how that works. Okay, and I'm going to use my paint bucket. I'm going to touch first this one and then the other one that's the same fabric. Okay. Don't know that I like that pattern on those, so I can change it. Let's see how that looks. So the good news is you can experiment and you can see exactly how it's going to look on your fabric. That's kind of cute. And then we'll go change that scale here in a minute. Let me go ahead and get these other feathers and we can do it all at once. Get the color for this one. Go find a pattern for that. Let's see what looks nice. Again, not a very wide area. Could try that. Let's try it and see what it looks like. Not bad. Maybe I'll change those colors so we can tell the difference a little better. That's on green. Let me go with a, see, it's a green with a blue. I'm probably going to go with a blue on that. Let me go ahead and change that so I can see maybe. Not really helping me a whole lot, is it? This one over here, I had as purple when we were drawing it in, but that's ultimately going to be a hot pink. So let's go ahead and get that changed. There we go. Now I can kind of see a difference. Then we have just two more areas. This is actually a pink down here. Let me go pick a darker pink. And that's a little bigger area. See what it can support. Something cute like that. Let's see if that works out at all for us. Could be. And then just one more area, and that's sort of a a blue-green. Let's see, we can kind of go here. Go here. Let's see if we've used this one yet. All right. So now we've got this. This is still on the design screen. So notice the changes we made to angle and size. They don't show up here. It's only when we go to the next screen that it will digitize with all the changes we've made. So let's give it a second to do that. There we go. Now this area is pretty hard to see. Let me change that to a darker color for now. I can see what I want to do with it. Probably go a little smaller again. Gotta be patient. Okay. Maybe go down to about a 70. Okay, and on all these, I'm leaving the outline. I kind of like the outline feature. On this feather. Okay, so here we are up on the feather, and we have two of those areas, so I'm going to link them together again. Then I can change my size. Do it all at once, save me a little trouble. Let's see what that ends up looking like. I'll do it one more time so I get both areas going the same. Okay, kind of fun. Click away from it. Now I want to get this feather. I'm going to change the angle, and remember I've got two of those feathers as well. There we go. So I'm going to link them. Change the angle. See what that does. Okay, now you can see there. It's filling in not too badly. I kind of like that. I think we're all done, guys. Okay, so now it just remains to stitch it out, and I'm going to save this to memory before I leave this screen so that if I need to come back and change some things, I'll have it saved. And just for good riddance, I'm going to save it here too, so that when I go out to embroidery, I can come right back to my design center and pull it up if I want to. All right, hang on just a minute, and we're going to stitch this out and see what it looks like. Okay, last night I finished up digitizing the rooster, and this morning we're going to stitch it out. Decided probably the better part of valor was to stop last night because I was tired. So hopefully I won't mess this up. I've got my machine ready to go. I have brought the digitized pattern into embroidery now, and I'm going to hit the embroidery button to go ahead and be ready to stitch out. Before I do, I'm going to hit the projector button and just check and see where some of this is hitting on my material. Don't know if you're going to be able to see this too well, but let's try it. Let's come down here to the bottom of the chicken. So I'm just moving the little frame on my screen. There we go. Probably you can see the feet better, I'm thinking. And everything looks perfect as it should, but just wanted to make sure. Another way we can do this, of course, is go ahead and scan in the background at this stage. So let's try that. I think you'll be able to see that better. And sometimes you'll get a little better results, I think, from the camera than you do from the projector. Let's scooch back here a little. Okay, so let's go ahead and just scan the background. Now this is just to check placement. It's not going to digitize, of course, at this stage. Okay, while that's doing that, I'm going to put the doggie up on her couch. She has a fit if she's not on the couch when I'm sewing. Come here, Snowball. Here we go. There you go. Okay. She has to be from her little vantage point. The kitty cat's here too, so the gang's all here to help Mama. Okay. So now that I think you can see better probably. Yeah, so we can make sure everything's lining up as it should. Looks great. Pan on up the chicken here. Okay. And it's looking good. It's lining up there within my borders. Everything's lovely. So I'm going to go ahead and close that background image. And now we're ready to stitch. So we'll just come on over here. Zoom back out for you. Okay, so we just need to put our foot down. I've got it threaded. We're going to start with the gray background fabric, pattern. And green means go. And we'll let it do its thing. No need for you guys to watch this whole thing stitch out. I'll just fast forward this so you can see what it looks like here at the end. Okay, here we go, the final section of the rooster now. Okay, awesome. We got a smiley face. We're finished with the embroidery. So that's all. The harder it was really to do a custom quilting job on this wall hanging. You could do anything you want. The same ideas could be applied to your quilt blocks, to anything you're working with. Just realize that you have really unlimited capabilities now with your design center and using the background scanning tool. Then using your paint brushes, the fill areas, you can just do amazing things. So don't be afraid to get in there and play and experiment and see with what you can do. Hope you have a wonderful day, and let's post pictures of what you've come up with. We have a group in Facebook at Patchwork Plus. And if you just go to the visit group button on that page, it'll take you to our Luminaire group where we can share ideas, and I'll be posting more videos as we have time. I'll give you any kind of tech information that we have available. So just come visit us, and if you're ever in Virginia, come by Patchwork Plus in Dayton, and we'd love to see you. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.